Welcome back to another transformation on my channel. In this video, we are going to get started in transforming this hutch. We are going to get started with the top and clean it up and build a base. So we're starting with this. There's nothing fancy, just a plain box. It's in great condition, so there won't be any repairs to be done. The first thing we're going to do is give it a good clean, and for today's project we're going to use just simply the TSP Alternative by Fusion Mineral Paint. This is a great biodegradable cleaner. It's a rinse-free formula, so you don't have to worry about washing it off once you're done. It's easy, it's quite safe to use, and it's available on our website. Pretty much regardless of any project that I do, the first thing I always start with is cleaning. You want to remove that dirt, the grime, the oils from the surface before you do anything else. If you don't and you start sanding, you're just going to melt that dirt right into the pores of the wood, or you're going to just really gunk up your sandpaper. And here I'm using these new surf prep pads that we just got, and to be honest, I'm really liking them. The usual sanding pads that I use, I can really only get 1 or 2 uses out of them, but these guys have lasted quite a bit. This is the 3rd project on 1 sanding pad, which is pretty impressive, and they come in a pack of several different grits, so I'll link them below if you want to grab some of them as well. I had removed the doors a little bit earlier, and because both the doors and this insert in the front have glass in it, I wanted to try this new masking fluid. I had never tried it before, and to be honest, I was a little afraid to use it. I had bought it for a kitchen that we were working on that had a glass door, but I didn't use it. So this is the first time I am using it. I figured it would be better to do that on a project that was not already sold or a client's piece. So it's just I'm just gonna brush this onto the windows, or onto the glass, that is. I am not going to do the entire surface because I'm not spraying this piece, so I didn't see any sense in actually covering the entire glass with it. One thing I would say, do try to use a smaller brush. For some reason I'm using this Zebra 2.5 inch brush. I probably didn't have one smaller, and it was a little bit hard to get into the details, but you just want to brush it as close to the wood as you can. Wipe it off wherever you don't want it if it ends up on the wood, but it basically just seals up the wood, so it's not going to do anything preventing the paint of sticking to it. And here we go. I am sure that you're familiar with this duo by now. This is the Jet 1 Hour Enamel by Wise Owl and the Style Mister Rollers. I am actually working on 3 or 4 different projects at the same time, and I didn't have enough spray guns to have for each color, so that's why I decided to quickly roll this piece. I really love using the 1 Hour Enamel. It's a great self-leveling paint. It also dries to a satin top coat. It sticks amazing to the furniture once you prep it properly, like I showed you, and it goes on like butter. It's just, I'm very, very impressed by this paint, and whenever I don't have a chance to roll it, to spray it, I'm really glad to be able to just roll it, and I can work here or I can work in the back of our store, wherever it's easiest, and get a super smooth finish. I did a total of 2 coats on this, and then I followed up with a cleanup coat at the very end. The first coat will be very translucent. That's normal. Almost any paint will do that. And don't get scared, just paint it on, get ready, and wait for it to dry. The recoat time is quite fast, it's just a couple of hours. Now, a note here, I am doing this because I was trying to finish painting as fast as possible, and the masking liquid is not even dry. I would say wait for it to dry before starting to paint, but I needed to get a coat on here so I can go and do a few other things and come back and do another coat of paint. Now that we have 2 coats of paint on the top, it was time to do some fancy schmancy calculations in order to calculate how much wood I needed for the base. I am following the DIY wife tutorial for custom wood base. I've done this quite a few times. I've changed it up to fit my own needs, but I will link below her original tutorial where she shows you exactly how to do it and what to do. Here I am the next morning, all bundled up at 6 a.m. trying to put together this base and kind of put together a little jigsaw puzzle and make sure that I screw everything in the right place. And a little plug for the channel. If you've learned a little something so far in this video or on any of my other videos, please consider subscribing. I have seen quite a bit of growth on this little channel since I started last month, and I really appreciate all of your views and comments and likes, as well as the products that I use will be linked below in my description, and a lot of it is from my website doveandarrowshop.com, and I really appreciate a follow. If you like to see what we're up to daily in the shop, please head over to Instagram and follow us at Dove and Arrow, where we share what we're up to daily. My goal was to finish this project in a day or maybe 2, but again, it turned out to be a quite long project, and mainly because I had to replace my poor drill, which has had a long life and it did not drill the holes properly, so I needed to go out and purchase a new one and then re-drill everything, as well as I was trying to do this all by myself, and then I decided to purchase right angle clamps, and I tried 3 different kinds and none of them worked. And realistically, if you're going to build a base like this, especially a big one like this one because the base is 2 feet tall, I would highly recommend that you have a buddy help you. And I did have my favorite person in the whole wide world help me out to put this together. I took the base to the shop and quickly stained it with this Minwax oil-based penetrating stain. And it's quite easy, wipe it on, wipe it off. However, I am very much used to using a lot of water-based products. Everything that we carry on our website is pretty much water-based. And I have to warn you, this stain is stinky. So make sure that you do it in a well-ventilated area. And nothing beats when the base stands up all on its own and it's perfectly leveled and it doesn't wobble and it's ready to be attached to the top. I simply screwed it on with pocket holes using some clamps and helping hand to keep it in place. And finally, the rest was just time for some touch-ups, removing the tape, the masking liquid from the glass, and getting it ready and staged. The masking fluid actually did come up in sheets and it was quite satisfying to remove. You can't see it from the shot just because I'm trying to balance the phone in one hand and do it with the other one. But it actually was quite satisfying and it did save lots of time. So here's what we started with, a little reminder. We worked on the top of this hutch and here is what we ended up with. What do you think? Do you like it? What would you do different? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you.